You dropped off. Great. Oh, there you go. All right. We live now. Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg, and we co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
And man, today, man, is a great day today. It's been a minute. Co-Pilots podcast. We've been down. The holidays is over with. And it's the first episode of the new year, man. How you feeling, Greg?
Hey man, I can't complain, man. I'm alive and well, so a lot to be thankful about.
That's what's up, man. And it's a lot to be thankful for, man. Love on your loved ones, and so um, but we're gonna get right into the show today, man, because there's a lot we want to talk about tonight, man. So we're gonna start uh with some NFL news today, and you know the NFL wild card is this weekend. A lot of stuff has been happening over the course of this last couple of days. We have some coaches get fired, but we want to know we're gonna take it home real quick, man, and we're gonna come to Duval, and we're gonna just talk about some of the things that's been going on down here, man. And you look at the recent firing of Doug Peterson, and they kept Trent Baalke, and I think that's was like a real big controversial amongst NFL circles. And will it affect the coaching hire as well as some things we need to look forward to in the NFL draft and things like that, free agency and questions like that. So I say a lot, Greg. It's a lot to talk about tonight, but I want to just let you know what your thoughts on everything, what's going on with the team, Greg.
It was expected. You get what I'm saying? And I wasn't one of those people that was for Doug Peterson getting fired, but I do stand it because you know, a lot of times, man, when you have a team that's things going the way it's going, that's pretty much your next move. You get what I'm saying? Like when you study the pattern, how things go, it's a copycat league. And so when the pattern of things go like this with other teams and you see this, and for most, they see it as this is a correct formula in correcting things or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes it's the case, sometimes it may not be. But I kind of figured that this was the step that was going to happen next. I think Doug Peterson is a solid coach or whatnot, man. I liked him his time here and everything like that there. But sometimes things don't work out, and sometimes you just part ways, it just don't work out sometimes. I think the biggest knock with Doug Peterson was that, when you bring in Doug Peterson, you also bring along Press Taylor. And this something that was also came up too that I just found out. It was in the press conference they had with Trent Baalke
And
and
Shaq Hunt.
Shad Khan. And
Mm-hmm.
it was reported that the reason for the firing of the defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell last season was because um Doug Peterson went to Shad Khan himself and said that he wanted to change things on the defensive side of the ball or whatnot. And so but like I kind of figured like Trent Baalke was going to stay with the team, and the reason for it, man, you got to look at what happened last season, not like and not talking about the record or anything, but when the team was established, Shad Khan pretty much gave his blessing, like this was the team. So and it seemed like both of them was in agreement with how things went throughout the off season with free agency and the draft. So a lot of times when you have that, it's like both of them was in agreement by him saying that this was the best team he's seen assembled. And so to now to go back on that, would be kind of crazy. Like you're pretty much admitting that you was wrong in the process and along with Trent Baalke. So and plus of what he allowed him to do with the contract restructuring and whatnot. So I think, like I say, man, I kind of that was one of the reasons. That was like pretty much why I figured why how the reason why things was going to go the way that it went. You get what I'm saying? I think they allowed Doug to finish out the season. Jags wanted to do things right, be loyal to Doug, do things the right way, let him finish out the season. But I pretty much think that with us keeping Trent Baalke, the right was pretty much on the wall with us re-signing Walker Little contract. It's giving him an extension.
I agree with you, man, on that because once we seen Walker Little get that extension, I kind of figured like, man, Balky ain't going nowhere. But I just felt like when you look at the grand scheme of things, man, Bulky had a lot to do with this organization being the way it is. And I have to, even though he wasn't in charge when Dave Caldwell was the GM, he was still on that staff. And it kind of like reminds me a little bit of when we had Gene Smith, when Gene Smith was on the staff with the old regime with Stack Harris and the first regime with Tom Coughlin when we first started the inaugural franchise. And then he became the GM. It was like we expected him to know what this franchise need, and he didn't get it done. In a similar situation with Trent Baalke, he hasn't got it done. But it's gonna be interesting to see what uh what people we can get in here, because I mean I think we just shortened our list to like half of the guys that would want to come in here and coach this team.
Right. I, like as you everybody know that like I pretty much wasn't on that train with firing Trent Baalke because I look at the depth chart or whatnot. Um, Man, the cap is pretty. He got the cap is pretty set up. And this is one of the things that kind of like gets me with Jerry Jones and whatnot. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like the cap, like even though like you can look at the cap and say, you know what, man, why we gave this dude extension? Why we gave this dude extension? You get what I'm saying? But in the grand scheme of things, we was able to keep players that was somewhat productive and also not be in cap trouble and still be able to bring in talent for this season. You get what I'm saying? Like we brought in Eric Armstead, and pretty much we're going to keep him another season. We got a chance to give a Khan extension. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Campbell, and we know that Ronald Darby he's probably going to be out of here next season or whatnot. That was like probably a 1 year thing. Um, bring him in for a season. He's probably going to be out. You know what I'm saying? Even with Gabe Davis and whatnot, it's like okay, even with bringing those players in with the room we have on our cap, it's not hurting the team. And you know what I'm saying, and what we can do for this offseason. You get what I'm saying? And not to mention, like I say, I still believe that we still have a lot of talent on this team that it just like you have to have, and not saying that Doug Peterson is not the guy for the job, but you have to be able to put the pieces together. You get what I'm saying? And that goes with coaching your OC and your DC or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? And I think that like this roster is not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at just dissect what we had last season or whatnot, you get what I'm saying? And we can admit that we pretty much had some good players on our team. You get what I'm saying? We knew that the Achilles heel was the offensive line. You know, the offensive line still can use some work. I don't think it was as bad, you know what I'm saying, as people think it is, but it still can use work. It
And you're
had
right about that too.
room for improvement. You get what I'm saying? We
Hmm.
we know our receiving core, like we got a legit receiving core. You know what I'm saying? Um Christian Kirk, he probably could come back. We still have Evan Ingram. All receiver, you know what I'm saying? Brian Thomas Jr., even though he got snubbed for the Pro Bowl, but we know that he had an elite year for his first season, rookie season, and he's not even he haven't even reached his peak yet.
and, and,
You know
and
what
and
I'm saying?
just to be crazy about that about Brian Thomas, I don't mean to cut you off, dog. He in an elite company. Randy Moss, Jamar
Right.
Chase, them boys that had
Odell
breakout
Beckham.
rookie seasons, Odell Beckham. So we got one on our hands, man. We really do.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did his thing this year, man. So, just looking at the roster as a whole, like getting out like of just getting away from what we saw this season on the field. We know that when you dissect each player, you get what I'm saying? Like, we know that we have talent on this roster, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But it just putting all the pieces together. And I think that that can still be done. You get what I'm saying? So in spite of all record, I think that like and a lot of times, yeah, man, I like to be optimistic or whatnot. But with the right coach, I think we can agree that we can go for one of those teams from worst to first. You get what I'm saying? And not in the conference, but in the division.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And if you think I don't know if you watched the whole conference with Shad Khan
Oh yeah,
and Trent Baalke.
I listened to it while I was
That
working out yesterday.
Yeah, and that seems like that is the plan moving forward. What Shad Khan is looking at, like saying, like, hey, he looked at this roster and saying, like, all we need is a coaching change. We know we should be able to, flip the roster. I mean, flip the record from worst to first because of the
Right.
talent. And I do agree with it to a certain degree, but the only thing I didn't agree with in that press conference, is he was like, he kind of was being cheap a little bit in the sense. He was like, we already got like 85 personnel, that's already working here, and why we need to change out all them. And then, like, sometimes you may have to change out them. They might be shitty 85 personnel that don't know how to run the organization as a football organization. But other than that, I guess I'm on board with what Shad Khan is saying with the team. Um, I do want to talk about some offseason moves that the Jaguars need to think about though. And I think one of the players that we got to think about that I think we might want to say we see him his last day in the Jaguar uniform is Andre Cisco. I think he's out the door.
Um, I think it's a possibility, but at the same time, it's like it's one of those things. Like, who are you bringing? Like now, I would love to keep Andrew Winger. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
Um,
Wingard, I think he's there. He gonna stay. He
right.
locked in for another
He's
year.
he's he's a Jaguar guy. You get what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
he's a Jaguar guy, whatnot, man. He gonna give 110%. Um, a lot of like players like Cisco usually the obvious selection, like for players that could be out the door that don't get re-signed. But I think it's a chance for him getting re-signed due to the space that we have on the cap. You get what I'm saying? And I think that with how things go, he won't be overpaid as well though. You know what I'm saying? I think that, it may and I think it would be pretty much like teams bidding for him. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think that we're gonna break the bank to try to keep him. I think at a decent price we'll keep him, but we won't break the bank for him.
Yeah, I don't think we re-sign him, bro. I think we let him walk because we have the 5th year option on him. I don't think we pick up his 5th year option. We let him walk because I think we can get some guys in the draft. We got that guy Ramsey, uh, safety. I think he's out of Alabama. I want to say.
Right.
I didn't write down the school, but I wrote down the name. But he's a guy that I think can come in and can play right away, day one starter. And you can get him. May if you don't get him in the first round, you can get him late in say maybe the second, third round. Because I think you have to address the defense this year in the draft.
I think like the biggest thing for me I would address with the defense, man, is the tackle position. You get what I'm saying? I think with the linebacker position, we pretty much solidified um at that position or whatnot. Devin Lloyd Devin Lloyd could be one of those
Mm,
be the odd man out. But I think that bringing in like a what I'm saying, another outside linebacker or whatnot. I think that would but you got to think we still got Chad Muma. You get what I'm saying? Chad Muma or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? So he can also fill that spot, and you won't have to pay him as much. So those are guys we have to consider whatnot. But I think the most important position to be looked into is the tackle position. And you had some teams you had some draft analysts projecting that we could get to do Graham from out of the tackle from out of Michigan. And
mm-hmm.
so I think that would be a good selection and whatnot. But some also projecting if I'm saying his name right, Will Johnson from out of Michigan as well. So they got us locked in with these Michigan boys right now, one or the other.
I
And
think. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
so I would prefer a tackle, me myself. You get what I'm saying? Each year in the draft, man, I see D Tigers or whatnot. Even going back to Derek Brown from out of Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these guys be there, but we not in position to get them. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so this year, I think that this could be the year because Travis Hunter, man, we would love to have him, but he's not going to be available. You get what I'm saying? Now, it is a scenario that it could happen, and that's if.
I think what you if you thinking what I'm thinking, I already
That's
think what you
if
think I'm thinking.
if
If we
if the
do some
team sold
trading,
on Jalen Milrow. You know what I'm saying? If a team sold on Jalen Milroe, right? You get what I'm saying? Because they got New York. They got like teams like New York that they could get him or whatnot. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so they need a quarterback. We know this. So like come on, I mean like you mean to tell me you sold on Drew Lock? So it depended on what Jalen and we seen him, right? You to get what I'm saying? And you can say like what you seen out of him in college is almost comparable to um um Jalen Hurts. You get what I'm saying? Dual threat
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, got a hell of an arm, but still raw a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Can still be groomed, but you know that he has the talent. The talent is there. And
Right.
we know he got a ton of heart. We've seen what he did plenty of times in clutch moments. And so if a team is sold on him because they got him projected to be a first round pick. You get what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
they got the Giants like as if they're going after a cornerback. You know what I'm saying? Like that they could get Travis Hunter. I think that they should go quarterback, but in a scenario like that though, I think that it could play out to our favor though. Then you also have New England as well too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we both thinking the same thing with the Travis Hunter thing. If somebody, want to trade up, we can get another pick, and we can get snatch Travis Hunter up and go grab another player. I think that's where we at. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, man, because if you think about it, there's not a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft. And I don't know if you heard the news, but a lot of teams don't got Shadur Sanders as a first round grade on their draft board.
I was saying this on my own. Okay, I was saying this on my channel, right? And I brought this up, and I was talking about like how because what's the
You dropped another video?
Shapiro, yeah, by
Oh,
remember
by Shapiro. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you were talking about Miami thing. Oh yeah, we did. I did see that video. Okay.
yeah, he brought it up, and my take it was on that, right, was this um and I was saying that this probably goes to Cam Ward's favor by me saying this, that when you like Dion was devastated. It's like, it wasn't really like a lot. Like you had some people may question him, but it was like Dion wasn't on the hot seat. You get what I'm saying? It's like,
Hmm.
he had room for development. His name was trending and everything like that. There. Um, Mario Cristobal, on the other hand, was on the hot seat. Now, with Cristobal being on the hot seat, if this would have been a failed season, he he probably, it was pretty much he was out of there. You get what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. And so I'm saying that to say this, that Cam Ward pretty much saved his job this season because most of the season they was in playoff contention. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was just the lack of defense. If they would have had a defense, oh man, they would have been able to make a strong playoff push with
Yeah,
it.
they would have made. Yeah, they would have been. They probably would have won the last four teams in college football.
Cam Ward is that dude. He's
Right.
him. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like, when I look at both of them, they pretty much the same guy. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They are
Same
pretty much
here.
the same guy. You get what I'm saying? They can
Right.
extend plays, and you know what I'm saying? And
I
so
agree.
but I would say Cam Ward had a better offensive line than Shadur Sanders.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Facts. That's
but
facts. Oh, facts.
but I would
Absolutely.
but they the same guy, and I think that you can't go wrong either way. Like, you're gonna have like and it boils down to who the team that got the number one pick, like who are you sold on? You get what I'm saying? Like I don't
Right.
think it's a consensus favorite at this point with either one, like amongst the teams and whatnot. Maybe amongst the fans, but amongst the teams, I don't think it's a consensus favorite.
I totally agree, man. So if somebody is can get lucky and say, hey, you say Miro, or maybe it's a guy like another quarterback that's out there that we not talking about, that they may take a chance on. Hey, nobody saw Pat Mahomes coming. You get what I'm saying? So
No, no, no. They was talking about him, but I was like, man, like
you know
he
what I'm saying.
he
So
wasn't even thought about on my list. Like, to be honest with you, like from out of Texas Tech, and every time I watch their game, it's like it was like a whole lot of offense. It's just easy to score. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I knew Pat Mahomes was gonna be. I wasn't sold on him. You know what I'm saying? Like if in that draft, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this, I was big on Deshaun Watson. In that draft, if we would have got Patrick Mahomes, I probably would have like threw my headphones off and like probably I'd have been upset. You know what I'm saying? I would have been highly upset. But you know how things played out. We would have got that same production. I'd have been, oh shoot, it would have been one of those things I would have been glad to be wrong about. You get what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah.
So
Most
yeah, I would have pretty much got over it. I definitely would have got over it. I'd have been mad that night, but I'd have got over it. Once
for real, man. But I mean, that would have been a, But I say all that to say that if somebody is going to take a chance on a quarterback, that's going to be the only way I think Jacksonville can even remotely get close to getting Travis Hunter. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because like you said, man, I don't think he's gonna be on the board. But I think a player that and you saying that we need to go D line. If we do go D line, a player that I think would be good, and I don't know if you watched him play any of this season, but James Pierce from Tennessee, he's a D line. He can play the 3 technique and he can play the 4 technique on the line. He's more of like a Trayvon Walker type guy. Um, Big guy, he's like 6'5", can run a 4.4, 4.5. I mean, I think we can get a guy like that on the line, man. That can really solidify our D line. And you think about some of the guys that's coming along now. Mason Smith came on later on this year playing
You,
better.
you just
Um,
hit the point I was finna to.
you know what I'm saying? So, you get these young guys that's playing well, man, and you bring another young guy in there, man. We can have a scenario like how the Philadelphia Eagles got with them young boys.
Right. And Mason Smith, man, I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna bring him up as well. Like Mason Smith was like one of the bright stars like towards the end of the season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the late round picks because he came through. You get what I'm saying? He
Hmm.
came
Yeah, he did.
and like I say, man, a lot of times, man, like you say, man, coming like rotational players, you don't need a superstar, but somebody that can just hold up, like a burst of energy coming on the field while your starters take a break and just can come in and apply some type of pressure, you know what I'm saying, allow and stop the line from being moved backwards. You know, that can really help the team out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, because you lucky if you got a team that your starters don't have to play every down. Some
Right.
people prefer to, but when you can rotate your players out, man, that reduce the risk of injuries, you know what I'm saying, fatigue. And then also that you have to game plan different as well because each player they play different. You know what I'm saying? Each player they play different. Each edge rusher play different. You get what I'm saying? Like Trayvon Walker is a different edge rusher than Hines Allen.
Right. And you're right about that, man. I mean, it's just that's somebody that, we can definitely use with these young guys. And I do think that, with the combinations of, like you said, with Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, Mason Smith, uh, and then we get this young boy here, Pierce, or if we can get one of those guys from Michigan that you was talking about, man, we can actually make this. We can flip the defense real quick, depending on who we bring in there, because I think the defense has talent on it, man. It's talent on it, just scheme wise. It don't fit the players that we currently have. I feel like that's what's messing this defense up right now. I don't know.
Well, one of the things I seen, man, outside of us being able to apply pressure around the edge, we wasn't able to apply a lot of pressure in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like we wanted to. And on occasions we did, but like we expected us to by us signing Eric Armstead, in which he, by the way, said that next season he will be playing in the middle. He'd be playing from the tackle position.
And that,
Which
yeah, go
that's
ahead.
something he should have did from the rip. Like when you came in, you was not an edge rusher when you came in. You got
Facts,
drafted as a D tackle.
facts.
And so and another like my biggest thing was this, like like us blitz. we probably blitz like probably like maybe like on average like 15% of the time or whatnot. And I'm just throwing a number out there. Somewhat it's like 10 to 20% of the time. You know what I'm saying? We did not blitz a lot. And for me, I feel like that was bad, you know. And I think that's something that should have been done in practice as well, because you have a quarterback that's like that do not know how to pick up the blitz well. You know what I'm saying? Like and this goes to Trevor Lawrence as well. Like when you look at his numbers um against the blitz and outside of the blitz, night and day. Like Trevor Lawrence, like when teams don't blitz, like he would pick a team apart. You get what I'm saying? You just come with
Mhm.
the four down lineman. You get what I'm saying? Trevor Lawrence looked like a superstar, but against the blitz, oh man, it's like like I say, man, and that's why I always point to this, man. He has to develop with his pre-snap read, because you know where to pick up your blitz at, and that's why I say that we in practice, you know, we should allow the team to blitz more because you give him practice on that. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, because you had miscommunication with the running back and sometimes the right tackles or whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, and the different O linemen or whatnot. So I think that, man, when you allow this to be worked on in practice, they're more prepared for it, because we done seen times that in the backfield that the running back didn't know whether he was supposed to pick up the line. I mean the rusher or not. You get what I'm saying? So and that goes to preparation. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, these are things that should be worked on in practice.
Yeah, it's we have to get the right coach in there, man, and we got to figure that out. Some other things I want to talk about too in Jaguar news too is it's some more personnel outside of Cisco that we got to make decisions on. You got Matt Jones contract coming up, and some guys that I wouldn't be surprised that now that you say Armstead, he's gonna be here next year, so he's off that list. But some guys that we might have to entertain either cutting or trading. I think Gabe Davis on that list. He had a disappointing season. Travis Etienne, with the addition with Tank Bigsby, having a successful year this year, playing a more bigger role in the offense, is they're gonna keep him around. Is they're gonna pick his 5th year option up, and as well as Christian Kirk. There's been rumors that Pittsburgh Steelers might want to make a trade for him. So, no, those are some things that we know, some other personnel decisions that we have to make. I say all that, Greg. What's your take on those?
I think if you got a team like Pittsburgh willing to make a trade with you for Christian Kirk, man, you have to take it. Because it is you know you're not going to re-sign him or whatnot. Now, if you got plans on re-signing, then that's all well. You know what I'm saying? You also have to look at the last 2 years he was injured. You know, now when he's on the field, he's one of the best slot receivers in the game when he's on the field, man. You talking about in that
Mhm.
slot, he's one of the best. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But as a slot receiver, you get what I'm saying? You're expendable. Now,
Mhm.
if you look at like before Brian Thomas Jr. came on the you know what I'm saying, came on the team or whatnot, he wasn't that much expendable or whatnot, because he was like pretty much our best receiver at the time. But now you have a player like Brian Thomas Jr. that make your slot receiver expendable. You get what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
you have to look at the price, everything, what you're
Right.
going to have to pay in the future. So now it like I say, it all depends on what's the asking price as well. Because if he's willing to take a hometown discount, oh yeah, then you pretty much keep him on the field. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you have Parker Washington. You know what I'm saying? A late round pick that you pretty much not paying too much this season. So those are also things you have to consider. So I think it started with Travis Etienne. Like I think that he's probably going to be out the door. Etienne, like you know what I'm saying, disappointing season, and it sucks because this follow up behind your last 2 seasons where you was a stud. You know what I'm saying, and some may
Mhm.
argue you probably was the best player on the team the last 2 seasons. Some may argue that. Well,
Right.
not hit in his second year or whatnot, because Trevor Lawrence, that was his year that he emerged because that was both of their second season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so like like you can argue last year he probably was the best player on the team last season and whatnot. You get what I'm saying? But it
Hmm.
sucked that it followed up behind a disappointing season. And so I think that you're gonna go with Tank Bigsby in the backfield, and pretty much you may draft a running back in the late round. So I think that he can be out the door. Maybe they exercise the 5th year option, but I think it's a chance that he may be one of those players that may be going elsewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because a running back that I think they might pick up in the late rounds that'll be a good fit in Jacksonville. I'm not sure if you watched him play this year. Is Devin Neal from Kansas, the running back from
Kansas, yeah,
Kansas.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So I think he'll be a great addition. You got him back there, Tank Bigsby. I think those two could be a nice little tandem in the backfield.
Right, right.
So. But I think we beat up a lot of Jaguar news, man. And we'll get back to the coaching here in a minute though. But let's just talk about that and then we'll segue into some of the playoff games. So of all the coaches on the list, if you had to line them up top three, what coaches you think was gonna be the coaches that you think the Jaguars should pursue for?
Me personally, man, I'm big on Mike Vrabel, but I don't think we gonna get him. I think he go to New England.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pretty much a New England guy, and I think that's where he's gonna head at. Also went my Mike McCarthy. You get what I'm saying? Looking at proven guys. But I think that the fan base want Ben Johnson and I would love to see him here as well. But from the news that I've been getting, and I don't know if it's facts or not, that they were saying that Ben Johnson didn't want to work with Trent Baalke, for whatever reason. Don't know if it's facts or not. So don't quote me on it. So
Mm-hmm.
he's another player that I would like to see or whatnot come. He's another coach that I would love to see come in. Belichick pretty much gone, and I'm looking at really the proven guys, but also I always wondered this right here, right? Where's Brian Leftwich? That is
Mm.
the question that I had. You get what I'm saying? Because
And he just went away.
yeah, because I feel that he was a scapegoat. We was looking at Brian Leftwich at one point. Don't remember how it played out, but we end up went with Doug Peterson and whatnot. And man, with Leftwich and whatnot, man, I think that he was a good offensive coordinator, man. You get what I'm saying? Like the plays that he had like, had set up, like he was a good offensive coordinator. Um, he had a talented roster too. But don't know like why he haven't had a job since then. You get what I'm saying? I think that it was unfortunate that he got fired because they had a bad season. You know, Tom Brady wasn't playing as good as and it was after they went to the playoff. They lost to Dallas, by the way, in the wild card round.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was crazy that happened like that. But hey,
Yeah. So my three would be obviously I think Ben Johnson is the top candidate everybody wants. Again, I think from talking to in that news conference with Shad Khan, I think he could talk to Ben Johnson and make it sweeter. And then he said that basically anybody that head coach that comes in that they're gonna report directly to him. So that means okay, they don't really if any issues he have with Trent Baalke, they can go directly to the owner. So I think that might help the next person that a lot of people ain't talking about, but I think this guy could be a good head coach is Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator from the Bucks. You look at what he did with Baker Mayfield these last 2 years, man. Well, he came, the last 2 years. Um, it says a lot, man. So with what and I mean, and we know that Trevor Lawrence is way more talented than Baker Mayfield. I think bringing a guy like that in as your guy, he can definitely help with this offense. At least make our offense damn at least respectable and consistent. Like we can lean our hat on something that will have an identity.
now I
Uh,
I would say this, like we say he's more talented than Ben Baker, right? Question is he? You know what I'm saying? Because
no.
and I hate that I'm talking like this. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm big on Trevor. I was then, and I want to be still. I want to be big on him right now. You get what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's like, man, he's proving me wrong right now. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, like talent wise, yeah, he got a lot of upsides, but at the same time, it's like, can he put it together on the field? Because, and I was just looking at his last interception, right?
Hmm.
In the last
About
game,
the day when he got cussed in
that
the
game there,
concession.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at on the phone, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we make so many excuses for Trevor Lawrence, and I hate to get off the subject. I'm gonna make this point quick. We make a lot of excuses for Trevor Lawrence and whatnot. And like I'm looking at the last interception he was throwing, trying to throw downfield to Brian Thomas Jr. You know what I'm saying, like a deep seam route or whatnot.
Hmm.
And he had he had, man, I counted 4 seconds in the pocket, and he still had more time. And he pretty much had a clean pocket, and he underthrow Brian Thomas Jr. and the ball got picked off.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and that was
So
a bad throw, but and I remember that same exact throw. Probably like I think it was the Cleveland Brown game, and the ball didn't get picked off, but he had underthrew the ball again, and the dude dropped the interception. It was the exact same throw. He struggles with those throws, dog, for whatever reason, man. I swear, bro. Like, but it was the exact same look, everything, and it's like, dog, you got to make that, bro. That's a layup right there, bro.
right, and it's pretty much like so now I look at like is you know what I'm saying, because we know that like a lot of times, man, you can be gassed up coming out of college or whatnot. You can be gassed up, but at
Hmm.
the same time, man, like I say, man, I seeing him, looking at what we saw with him at Clemson, we know, and looking at what we was able to see with him like in the last couple of seasons, we know the talent is there. You know what I'm saying? We know the
Hmm.
talent is there. Like, man, dude, you got to get out your own head, man. You got to be able to you got to be able to make these throws, man. You know what I'm saying? It come times you got to become a gamer, man. I think the room for error is out. You get what I'm saying? It's going into what, his fifth season,
Hmm.
fifth or sixth, whatever it is. You just got a contract extension. You know what I'm saying? The room for excuses is over with. You going into your third head coach. Do not become that guy that become that's a coach killer. You get what I'm saying? Like, do not become that guy, because I think now the verdict is out. We seen the dispute with Shady McCoy and um one of our analysts with the
Bucky
Jags,
Brooks.
Bucky Brooks. So it's like that's my biggest quick. Is he as good as we think he is?
Yeah.
I hope he is. You get what I'm saying? I hope he is.
Yeah, I agree. And my third candidate, man, I think, and he probably gonna get a job too fast, is Aaron Glenn, uh, the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. So, I think bringing him in, bringing a black coach in Jacksonville, I think it'll be a good thing because I think he'll right the ship. One thing that Dan Campbell said about Aaron Glenn is his leadership and how he's just a leader amongst men on that defensive side and how the players rally around him. So I think if you bring a coach like that in, it can really spark the defense obviously, but I think you could really we could flip this thing quick with a guy like him because he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder too.
I got another question. Like, what's like two other dudes, right? Like, and they pretty young. Kellen Moore and Brian Flores. Like, is they like candidates for the coach for a coaching job or whatnot?
Yes, Brian Flores is being considered for some coaching vacancies. Now, Kellen Moore, he's on a list, but I think his stock has went down a little bit only because the Eagles. I mean, they having a good season, but like it's like if you really think you got Saquon, you got a loaded team. Like I don't think a lot of people is really looking at him as like that guy right now. I mean, his stock was high when he was on the Mike McCarthy, but I think right now he's on the list, but he's not gonna be the guy that like he's not. That's just like Bobby Slowett, who was on the list last year, was one of the hot coaching jobs in Houston, the offensive coordinator. Ain't nobody talking about him right now. So, but
And
he
that's
is. The answer to your question is short. Yes, he's on the list. Both of them.
both of them. Okay.
Yeah, they on the list, but they at the bottom, very bottom.
Hmm.
They even got
But
Robert
we know we're
Sala
gonna
on
pick
there.
somebody up. And
Yeah,
then you got to think, man. Some of these dudes be hitting gyms or whatnot.
right.
You know what I'm
So,
saying? Like Brian. My only question with Brian Flores is this right here, right?
hmm
Because we know what he's able to do on the defensive side of the ball. We seen it in Miami, like that defense was bite. Like they was winning games with their defense alone. You know
right.
what I'm saying? My thing is this. Um, would he be able to bring in, you know what I'm saying, be able to develop the offense? You know, that's the biggest question. Will he be able to help Trevor Lawrence get to the next level? That's my
I
biggest
think
question.
I think that's the biggest question though. Honestly, with that's my question with Aaron Glenn too, because he's the defensive coordinator. Like
Right,
I think anytime you hire a defensive coordinator, that is always the risk because you look at the last two firings of that was defensive coordinators, it was always issues with the offense. Brandon Staley, what's the other guy? Robert Sala, both
right,
of them, and it was always issues with the offense. So I think any hire defensive coordinator, that's something that you always got to look into.
right. And you know the thing with Robert Solomon, whatnot, I think they had us tied in with him as well. That I think the thing is this, like with him at the Jets, like man, the team was playing bad. Like Aaron Rodgers, he was hurt last season. And we seen how like man he had the team really still playing for him or whatnot. He still had the locker room or whatnot. But this season, man, it's like you get Aaron Rodgers back, and even though Aaron Rodgers had decent numbers, but it just wasn't there. You get what I'm saying?
hmm
So but they had us linked in with him too. You know what I'm saying? Um, don't know how true it is, but that was the name that was brought up for
Yeah.
like the Jaguar coaching vacancy.
Yeah, they said Robert Sala was on I think Doug Marone's staff.
Oh, okay.
He was the defensive back coach or whatever, or something like that. When I think under Todd Wash or one of them boys.
Yeah, Todd Walker, yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, man. So let's segue since we talking about other teams, let's segue into this playoff picture. Can you see it, Greg?
Nah, I can't see it, but I already know the teams that's on there though. What
Yeah.
did I see who playing who?
Yeah, I ain't know yeah,
Nah,
dang.
I couldn't see it.
You can't see it. Well, we just gonna talk about the some of these games, man. Let's talk about the wild card games, bro. And the wild card games uh we got the Bills, Broncos, Ravens, Steelers, Texans, Chargers on the AFC side, and then on the NFC side, you got the Eagles, Packers, Bucks, Commanders, and then you got the Rams, Vikings. So man, so what your thoughts, Greg?
I think in the AFC, man, I got the Bills, man, winning it. I got the Bills winning. I think they get to pass the hump this year, man. I think if they play against Kansas City, they have to go to Kansas City. I think they go there and beat them. And then it could possibly be a team that upset Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Um, Buffalo has looked like the best team out there, man. Just top to bottom, man. They look like the best team out there. Um, it may not look like that on the depth chart, but I think that them getting your boy, man, that was a good pickup. Getting with
Keon Coleman,
Cooper, Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Oh yeah,
That was a
they
good.
got him. They got him off the street too. So yeah, they needed a receiver too, and I think with them bringing in Amari Cooper, it's going to help Keon Coleman develop more, and he's going to be. I think next year Keon Coleman he's going to be probably one of the top receivers. I mean, we talked about our boy Brian Thomas Jr. and neighbors, but I think another year under Josh Allen. I mean, out of all the receivers that came out the draft, top receivers that came out, he got the best quarterback out of all of them.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
man.
do.
But I don't know, man. I can't go at the Bills, man, winning it all right now. I like the Chiefs, man, for whatever reason. I think the Chiefs got a chip on their shoulder. Pat Mahomes got snubbed out of the Pro Bowl again this year. They took that loss early on the season. They said they was gonna use it as a teaching moment, and ever since then they've been on fire. And the
Right.
crazy part about it with the Chiefs, man, is the offense haven't really been carrying this team this year. It's been the defense. So
Right,
you
right.
just got to think, man. If you know what I'm saying, if they know what I'm saying, if they can get it like going on the offensive side, you know what I'm saying. It's ain't no telling, man. I mean, just
Man, this
they can
pretty
get it.
much the Bills, man. This their year, man. I think Josh Allen hungry, man. Cause you got to look at how many times, man, Josh Allen, like they not losing these games because Josh Allen not showing up. You get what I'm saying? Or he can't. It just you know once you score on the other side, man, you got Pat Mahomes. Like man, what's that game they had? Like the Bills
13
went up,
seconds.
man, and they had like what 15, 20
It was
seconds left
13
on the clock,
seconds.
and it's like how you leave that? You know what I'm saying? Your team with 15 to 20 seconds left on the clock and you still lose, man. You go up and you still lose or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that pretty much remind me of the Colts versus the Jets some years back. I think that was Braylon Edwards ran the kickoff return down to the 2, and they kicked the
Mm-hmm.
field goal to win the game. It was
Right.
like years ago, man. But it kind of remind me of that game there.
Right. And I mean, I still like the Chiefs, man. Right now, I think the weakest team in the AFC right now is the Texans. I think they're going there limping into the playoffs. CJ Stroud, he's had a sophomore slump this year. He started off good, and I think this last half of the season he hasn't been the same quarterback. They got a home game, but it won't be easy. They will be playing against the Chargers, a team that's going to be kind of motivated. Is it the Chargers I think they playing against? I think it's the Chargers. No, they're playing against the Chargers. I think that's going to be so. I think that's going to probably be the best game of the AFC. Is that Chargers Bronco? I mean that Chargers Texas game. I think those teams are kind of similar. If I look at all the other teams in the AFC and I see that the higher seeds are going to win those games, the Bills are going to win their game, and I think the Ravens are going to win their game against the Steelers. Which brings me to my next point about the Steelers is man, Steeler Nation looking at Tomlin like man he gotta get them far this year. They don't want they tired of just making it to the playoffs. They want to win. You think
But team,
Tomlin might be on the way out
what teams
this
got,
season?
and this what fans has to realize, and I'm talking about fans. You know what I'm saying? This is what they have to realize, man. Throughout the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole time, he'd have been there, like outside of like what quarterback did he have to win with? You get what I'm saying? Like he's made the playoffs with a bet with third string quarterbacks. So this is what fans see. Fans get in their own way because they like, oh, we gotta win. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like just make it to the playoff. It was an accomplishment because we said for years like the Steelers, the only thing they need is a quarterback. Draft Kenny Pickett. It didn't work out. You get what I'm saying? They drafted a couple other. It did not work out. And so and even Big Ben in the later part of his career, man, he was banged up. You get what I'm saying? And then you had to get through New England. We know it was not a lot of teams getting through New England around that time in the Brady and Belichick era. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to take your wins when you can. I think that if they was to let them, your team does not get better by you letting Mike Tomlin go. Your team does not get better. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a team. You have a quarterback you just brought in or whatnot. But like I say, man, fans has to get out of that. Like the grass is just gonna be green on the other side or whatnot, man. You got a legit coach. You know what I'm saying? One of the best in the league right now. Like what more do you want?
Yeah, man, I totally take on it, man. I tell Steeler fans all the time, it's like, hey, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, bro. We will take making it to the playoffs every year and getting beat than not going. Like I say, when you've been with a franchise this bad, has had such very little success of winning, dog, you would take anything. And I think sometimes as Steeler fans, y'all they've gotten so spoiled when it comes to uh, making it to the playoffs, winning Super Bowls. When you look at other franchises that, shit, we just happen to get one. If we can get one, we'll be happy. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's just, some fan bases get spoiled, man. And I think in this case with Steelers fans, they have to be appreciative because, like you said, if you leave, if Tomlin leave, who you bringing in up? Who you gonna bring in that's gonna do what Tomlin did? Ain't no coach can do what Tomlin did. Have a winning record every season he was in a winning record every season he was in the league. Or finish with a 500 record or better. That's hard
Right.
to do in the National Football League.
Exactly. You got a lot of good rosters that don't do that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like how many teams we seen underachieve, and not to mention this, like Mike Tomlin is also doing this in one of the hardest divisions in football,
Right.
the AFC North. You get what I'm saying? Like this man has not had a team under 500 since he's been there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? You in the hardest division with quarterbacks like Kenny Pickett. You get what I'm saying? Some of these other like third string, fourth string quarterbacks, and you still able to get the job done. You get what I'm saying? So I think Steeler Nation, man, y'all have to just pump the brakes a little bit, man, and just accept your wins when you can, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, you do not have one of those teams that is Super Bowl or bust. You get what I'm saying? Like you still have a lot of adjustments to make before you can say that you're well, I wouldn't even say a lot of adjustments. You still have a lot of building for you before you can say you're one of those teams that's ready to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You're not there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to ask yourself, you're not a better team than on paper, you're not better than a lot of these here. Is you better than the Chiefs? You get what I'm saying? The Bills, even the Ravens for that matter. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, these some of the things like you have to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, like, are you can you honestly say that you're one of the best teams in the AFC before you start going to say that we need a coach change and all this foolishness.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming at with it, man. Um, I still think that the Super Bowl run through Kansas City, man. I know you going with the Bills this year. I'm gonna go with Kansas City, man. I just think that and they locked in. I think they're gonna be the first team to get a three-peat, man. I think they're gonna make some history.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think Lamar Jackson he might win his third MVP. I think he might get it, or I think either Josh Allen get MVP. I think either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson he's gonna get MVP. I
I
don't think.
and a lot of people, they making the argument that the team that the team that Josh Allen have around him, and which is understandable. You get what I'm saying? It's understandable, whatnot. But when you break everything down, man, like what we seeing, Lamar Jackson doing, man, like is crazy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you have to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not and I understand the argument, but let's not play the role where it's like, okay, he got two or three already. You know what I'm saying? Let's give it to somebody new. You know what I'm saying? Like these awards should be earned. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now, I would say that he's having an MVP worthy season. But at the same time, it's like, can you honestly say that he has been the best player this season? You get what I'm saying? No, that has been Lamar Jackson.
I like Lamar Jackson too to win it. But I will say a dark horse that can make a case too is Saquon Barkley.
Of
This
course.
guy almost he should have broke Eric Dixon rushing record. If he would have played on Sunday, I think he would have broke the record. Um, but he's a dark horse. I think could win it. Maybe if the Eagles can go on a run in the playoffs and maybe sway the voters, I think he can get it. But I think it's really down to either two people, either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but I'm leaning towards Lamar Jackson getting it because he ain't gonna win a Super Bowl this year, man. I think he get the MVPs, but I don't know, man. I just don't see him getting over Pat Mahomes. There's still some desire he need to do with his arm, the talent. He's still a bit inaccuracy, and you've seen that in some games when they lost this year. But I still think Lamar Jackson can win a Super Bowl, but I don't know when he's gonna be able to win it, man. When you got Pat Mahomes in your way, like maybe he go to the NFC and maybe can go to a team and win it. But right now, the way it's set up, man, I don't see nobody beating Pat Mahomes, man. Man, he's just the boy, just too good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the NFC, man. The NFC games, and we got the Eagles, Packers. Let me take this layer thing off, this banner off, so I can finish reading it. Bucks, Commanders, and then the 4-5 game, the Vikings, Rams. And for me, man, I think that the NFC is pretty locked up, bro. I had a miss a train of thought. The NFC is pretty much locked up, man. I think the Lions, I don't see nobody beating the Lions in the NFC. The Vikings, man, they tried last night, the other night, man, got demolished. And I think that they're gonna be they're a one hit wonder. Like they made it to the playoffs, good season under Kevin McConnell. I think the Rams finished them boys off, man. But I think the Lions are the team to beat in the NFC. I don't think nobody beating them, bro. We got some good teams in there. I want to see what Jayden Daniels do too in the playoffs. What he do in his first playoff game against the Bucks. But man, Todd Bowles gonna have his number just like he was. They played week 1 too, so it's gonna be very interesting that game too to see what they scheme up. But overall, man, I just think that the Lions. I don't see nobody beating the Lions in the NFC.
I think Detroit got the best team also, man. The only team that I say that compete with them, and I gotta say the Eagles. Um Eagles can rush the quarterback or whatnot. Um like I say, man, and they can also control the clock with Saquon or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Like, so
Right.
anytime you got a team that can control the clock, it pretty much puts you in there. You get what I'm saying? Because your defense don't have to do as much. You give your defense a chance to rest, and you can keep defenses honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know that team's gonna want to stack the box against Saquon. And
Mm-hmm.
if you stack the box against him or whatnot, man, you got two dudes out there, man, that when you throw that ball up, they going to get it. And that's AJ Brown and got doggone Slim Reaper, man. So
Devontae Smith.
yes, sir. So I think that's one of the teams that can compete with them. You know what I'm saying? If I had to name a team out of the NFC, that's what I'm. Um, but other than that, man, Detroit looking like the best team out there right now. Like
They
they
is, man.
looking like a well-oiled machine right now.
They is, man. And it's crazy, man. It's so sad, bro. When I think about Detroit, bro, on the channel, dog, 2 years ago when we started this journey, I dropped a video about Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars being like the two ascending teams on the rise.
Right,
And you look 2 years from now, you see the Detroit Lions are the team that's like the team that we thought the Jacksonville Jaguars would be at this point. And it's just sad to see, two organizations, going in the wrong direction. And I just, I'm actually low key rooting for Detroit Lions to actually make it to the Super Bowl because just to see how they built this team and how Dan Campbell has really turned the culture around in Detroit with people that people gave up on, like Jared Goff. I don't think nobody thought Jared Goff could be the type of quarterback he is after Sean McVay asked him. Um, after the first season under Dan Campbell, a lot of people had doubts. They had what I think they only won 3 or 4 games his first year, and to see how he's turned the whole team around, bro. I'm rooting for Detroit, man. Like I say, like you said, bro. It's nobody gonna be hard to beat them, man. It's gonna be hard to beat Detroit, man. And they got home field advantage. It's gonna be very hard to beat them.
right. And yeah, that's why I got Detroit, man. Detroit pretty much and this with injuries as well. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a team that's banged up. You know what I'm saying? You got Aiden Hutchinson out, Carlton Davis, along with some other guys or whatnot. David Montgomery could be back for the playoffs. But man, they got a lot of guys banged up and they still find a way to win.
It
So
sure is.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the main reasons why I think Aaron Glenn is getting looked at because all the defensive players getting banged up and he's been able to like plug and play and these guys hasn't missed a beat,
right,
you know. So I think we both and conceding that this Super Bowl gonna be Chiefs Lions Super Bowl. So this is gonna be like a return of last year opening game. Detroit won. And do you think Detroit get their first Super Bowl since what, like 1950, 1960 or some shit like
Well,
that?
no, they never had a Super Bowl, but they done had a championship. It's possible. Like I say, like I'm not gonna say that they is. You get what I'm saying? But is with how this team is, it's possible. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
rooting
They
for
got a
them. Well, I'm rooting for them, but I think Chiefs make history, man. I think they're gonna be the first team to go do a three-peat, man. It's looking like that. Andy Reid got them boys locked in, man. I think they're gonna be the first three-peat. I think Detroit gets back to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's a big feat, but I don't think they get it this year. I think Mahomes and boys get it.
right, right.
So let's say it went into our final topic of the night, man. We're gonna talk about the college playoffs, man. College playoffs. It's four teams left
Oh,
in
supposed
the
got to
final
tell what
four.
a name. Your boy getting fired.
Oh, you talking about oh yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back. You
Antonio
talking about
Pierce.
Antonio Pierce, yes. Yeah, man. So let's talk, and we're gonna talk about just not Antonio Pierce, bro. We're gonna talk about Gerard Mayo as well, because I feel like both of these firings says a lot about the NFL. And when you think about, these coaches, man, these coaches was handicapped. Both of these coaches, and I'm not even talking about just in skin color, but let's just talk about the way these teams were built. They gave neither one of these coaches quarterbacks. They
Right.
neither one. You gave the Raiders Garner Minshew and Aiden Hutchinson, or
Aiden
whatever.
O'Connell.
Matt O'Connell, yeah, Aiden O'Connell, and then and down there and with the Patriots, you give them a rookie quarterback in Drake May. And it's like you're expecting these guys to turn around your franchise in 1 year and make them competitive. And I don't think it's fair that they give these coaches that. And I'm mainly disappointed with the New England because they did Gerard Mayo dirty. That was one of their guys. Guy that played on the Belichick, a guy that you thought they would give him the opportunity because he came up under Belichick. And, this guy was drafted by the Kraft family, bro. And for them to do him like that, bro, it said a lot, man. It just seems like certain coaches has to do, and I just say it, black coaches have to do a lot more with less.
Right. I pretty much thought that like Gerard Mayo was going to get another opportunity along with Antonio Pierce. You get what I'm saying? And I think that with Antonio Pierce, with his situation, I don't think it's more so has to do with his skin color, but it falls into the narrative with the rest of the coaches. What happened? You get what I'm saying?
Right,
I think Pierce fell victim to this. You bring in a new GM and a GM want to bring in his guy. You get what I'm saying? And this one of the things that they was talking about on 1010 XL. This is what the Jaguars are scared of. You get what I'm saying? That you keep the GM, but you get rid of the head coach. But what's going to happen if you get rid of the GM? You know what I'm saying? You still got the head coach from last year, from the season prior, and now you bring in another GM. Now he want to bring in his guy. You get what I'm saying?
right.
So, and a lot of times a coach and a GM, they pretty much go together like, they pretty much go together like peanut
Man,
butter.
it's hand in hand, bro. They like that's a
And
marriage.
yeah, it's pretty much hand in hand and whatnot. You get what I'm saying? And that's always one of those moves that the GM always want to make because they want to bring in their guy. If they lose their job, they want to be on the counter because they made the wrong decision and not something that they was left with and they didn't get a fair shake on things.
Right.
And so, and I pretty much think that is the case in Oakland. I mean, in Las Vegas. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know, man. You know.
And so it was an unfortunate situation. But when you look at the New England situation, it's like you give me a young quarterback. You get what I'm saying? You expect me to do this and that in my first year, and we know that that's not going to happen. Like, you know, even though he had they drafted a quarterback, but let's be honest, he did not have a lot of pieces around him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think Drake May can be one of those quarterbacks that can actually be good because we seen good moments out of him. When I went to go see them, New England and Tennessee, man, when I was in Nashville early, there last year, I looked at, I say, man, this dude can actually play. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But like I say, man, it take time. Like, he did not have the talent around him on his receiving core like that. So man, I say that, man, it was an unfortunate situation for both of them, but I do feel as though, man, a lot of times, man, black quarterbacks don't have the luxury of having a losing season in their first year. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, you either win or you don't. You know what I'm saying? We done seen the same thing with Hugh
Steve
Jackson.
Wilkes.
Yeah, Wilkes, you know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. You know, now it's all these coaches good coaches, some of them they just wasn't good, but it just like this, like even with the ones that we seen that was good, they did not have the same opportunities like some of these other coaches, and you leave them on teams with not a lot of talent. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of room for error, but no room for progression.
Gotcha. I agree with you, man. I do think that there's a possibility, and I don't know if you thought about it though. I was watching Nick Wright talk about this,
I
but I
love
can
watching
I
Nick Wright.
the Nick Wright now Nick Wright did say this, and I want to get your take on it because I think it could be an angle. Once I seen Antonio Pierce get fired, although it was fucked up, I do think that there could be a possible play in New England or in Oakland where they make a push for Coach Prime to come and coach, get him out of college. I just
This is
think
what Nick
that,
Wright
man,
said.
something telling me on draft day that that could be a possibility. Or before draft day, before when these guys start getting they building their coaching staff, that I just got a feeling Coach Prime is gonna get a call, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I feel it, bro.
This
And
is what
somebody,
Nick Wright said,
this is what Nick Wright said. He said New England. Nick
and
Wright
I'm a
said he
fan
said
of it.
New England.
And
But
and
I
I
think it might be Oakland now
and
that Antonio Pierce has got the can.
and the
And
reason
it makes
why
perfect sense.
and the reason why I'm a fan of Nick Wright, because I like how he break things down. I like how he analyzes things. I think he's an Aries. You know what I'm saying? If I had to guess, you get what I'm saying? Because I like how he break stuff down and whatnot. But he has to know something we don't know. You get what I'm saying? Because me looking at it from right as of right now, I don't see it. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I'd have been wrong plenty of times, and I don't think I'm gonna stop being wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm done with being wrong or whatnot with my opinions and things, but sometimes I am right. So I don't know, man. You get what I'm saying? Like we done heard this a lot, and we know that where smoke is fire. So we know that, man. Yeah, he would be if he was to say right now that, hey man, I want to go to the NFL. He would be a hot candidate. You get what I'm saying? He would be a hot candidate.
Yeah, I think he, man, it is a play, man. I think it's a play, bro. I think the way, like how this whole thing, and I don't know sure if you was following a lot of stuff that happened in the Alamo Bowl, but apparently Colorado ran out a lot of like NIL money and stuff like that. So when they got to the bowl game, a lot of the stuff that they wanted to do, they couldn't really do because of the money. Like they ran out. And
Yeah.
so I think when you look at it, a lot of grand scheme of things, how the bowl game went and everything, I think Dion might be like, you know what? I might have taken this Colorado job. This is like as far as I'm gonna get this program, this university. Like I can get them to compete, but winning the national championship, like I'm not gonna be able to do it because they don't have the money to do it. And so I think that that could be his exit way out to the NFL, man. I don't know, man. It's just like I say, Nick Wright threw it up, and I just figured I'd throw it and ask you about it.
But you know what though? Like and how you just broke that down kind of made sense because if you don't have the resources or whatnot, and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at this two sided or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Like to your point, when you don't have the resources or whatnot, it's like you can only go so far. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right,
Bobby Bowden was able to turn a Florida State team around because you didn't have to have those type of resources. The only thing you had to do is be able to show up and sell yourself. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Hey man, listen, man, I can get this kid to the next level. You get what I'm saying? I can
right,
get him to the next level. I can get this team to the next level. You pretty much selling the parents and the player on your vision.
right.
Right now, it's like, it's all it's about money right now. You get what I'm saying? It's about the vision as well, because you got some people that got money ain't gonna be able to, they gonna get outbidded or whatnot due to the people that have that due to the vision that's being sold. And so I say that to say this, yes, it could be like you say, man. Has he got this team to his peak or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? To go to the point that you just made. But at the same time, like I say, man, I would expect that they have boosters that would invest in them. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I would
yeah.
I would expect that they would have this whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like I say, man, his name has been brought up a lot when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah,
And
it
a
has.
lot of people were speculating that he was gonna start at Colorado, then make his way to a program like Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or another program that was bigger or whatnot.
Right.
And we know that these programs, they are resourceful.
Very.
So Colorado, man, I would think that they would be low on resources, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is Colorado. Like, Colorado was once one of those teams or whatnot. They was once one of those teams or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Not saying
Mm-hmm.
they wasn't a Alabama or nothing like that there, but they was
They
once
don't
one
want
of
it
those
before.
teams you had to prepare for.
Right.
And yeah, but like I say, man, now it all goes back to him, how he feel like. Is he a coach that want to develop players or whatnot? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the NFL can be a person's dream. Sometimes just being in the collegiate spot can be like, you know what, this is where I work best at, so I'm gonna stay here. So, it fall down to the individual, but yeah, that was a interesting tape right there.
Yeah, it was, man. So we're gonna segue to our final topic again, to the NCAA, the playoff, and we're gonna talk about the final four matchups, man. You got Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. Um, who you like, man?
Ohio State looking like the best team out there right now. They defeated the best team. They blowed out they blowed out the best team that we thought was the best team out there in Oregon. And they also blowed out Tennessee. So they pretty much looking like the best team. Texas got away with one. You get what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
that was a target and whatnot. They pretty much got away with one. And
Yeah,
but all in all, you get what I'm saying. Arizona State still had a chance to win, and they didn't pull it off. Um, but I think that, man, man, Ohio State, they the team to beat right now. We didn't think that in the beginning. I know I didn't.
I didn't either. I don't
I
think
didn't.
nobody did.
I knew they had the potential to make it far or whatnot, but playing as good as they're playing now, I didn't see it. Like, they ran through Tennessee with no problem. They ran through Oregon with no problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did. And the thing crazy part about it is because, like, when you look at this Ohio State team, like all season, I felt like they played good, but they didn't dominate. Like they dominated these last two games. Like they left no question that they were the better team on the field.
Oh, of course.
Um, and when you look at the course of the season, we just never felt that. I remember, of course, early on in the season, I remember we did a video about Chip Kelly, and we thought that I said that this offense can look good. They've looked good these last two games. Like, I'm talking about, they got the offense clicking. Like, okay, this is what we paid Chip Kelly to come to do. Um, and I think early on in the season we might have thought that Ohio State couldn't play as physical as they played against Tennessee, man, and how they played against Oregon. Like, this team was just you know like any Ohio State team. Like, they forward every time they play against a team from the South. Uh, but I gotta agree, bro. They're the best team, bro. And one thing I say about Texas is I feel like Texas play down to their opponent a lot, and it almost cost them in the Arizona State game, bro.
Oh yeah, they did. Almost did.
So I think I agree. I think we both agree that Ohio State is the best team. And I would ask you this question because this is something that's been out there in these internet streets. Everybody kind of feel like Ohio State and Oregon played each other too soon, and that they should have played like they should have been like this game right here or the final game. And then other people feel like Georgia and Notre Dame played each other too soon. They shouldn't have been like on separate sides or whatever. Like they. So what's your take on that? Do you think that they should have made the season a little bit different,
Nah,
or do you
they
think,
listen.
hey,
See, people be wanting all these changes. Like, man, you set things in stone for a reason. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of this because of this, right? They want to see certain teams play. You know what I'm
right?
saying? I did a video of that or whatnot talking about like how these teams, like people say, oh man, with it, maybe because everybody who played in the first round, you get what I'm saying, they lost.
Right.
Now, when you look at when it came to some of these other teams or whatnot, they was talking about all this, the reason why they lost or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Because they
Making
should have been
excuses
there
like
in
a
the first
mug.
place. You know, they weren't good enough. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. But when it come to these got doggone SEC teams or Oregon or whatnot, the case is because they played they was rusty or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta stop making excuses for these teams for losing, man. You get what I'm saying? Like
but but
we
they be
looking for
trying to find every
everything.
other way, bruh.
Yeah, we looking
Every
for
other way.
everything to excuse why these SEC teams has not only lost but they got blowed out. You get what I'm saying?
For real.
So, like I say, man, if it was the other way around, the argument would be different. So it's like, man, that's why I said they got to get out of it. They want to change this and change that. It was already set in stone and everybody agreed with the format. So now when the format come out, it ain't till they liking, oh, we got to change something else. You know what I'm saying? The conference, they shouldn't get a home run. Like, no, leave it like it is. Stop trying to change everything because now what they're doing, they're confusing everything and they're trying to play with the language or whatnot and leave room um to cause a lot of chaos and foolishness. Know what I'm saying? When sometimes like okay, when you have like with you say okay, the conference champions, they're in there, they got an automatic bid. That's black and white. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta speculate. You know who's there. It's black and white. But when you try to say, oh, nah, you come back and say, nah, we one of the best teams in there. You get what I'm saying? That can be subjective. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Because
Right.
who you consider the best team may be different than who I consider the best team. You get what I'm saying? My
Right.
thing is if you earn your spot, you're the best team. Not because your roster or the name that's, what I'm saying, your logo, your name or whatnot, and that's what we get caught up in, like, you know, the prestige that these teams have that makes them the best team. No, it don't. You get what I'm saying? Because they was petitioning for Alabama to be in, they should have got in, but when they played against an inferior opponent in Michigan, look what happened. They lost. You know what I'm saying? So not it shows that no, they shouldn't have been in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They couldn't handle Michigan. So what you
Definitely.
think? What you think some of these other teams was gonna do against them? You know what I'm saying?
But to bring up your point about that too, bruh, because everybody keeps saying the best teams, right? If we want to look at it though, if we want to keep it all the way funky, because we could say Florida was the better team, could get in there. You know what I'm saying? The way they ended their season, like we could have said, Florida was the best team in the SEC. The way that, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
everything is so subjective.
Right. And this what I'm scared of, like they trying to get back to. You know what I'm saying? And it's like what we seen last year in the playoff or whatnot. We know that it was set in stone. You win your conference, you pretty much in there. This is what was always talked about. If you in the Power Five and you win your conference or whatnot, and you undefeated, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much in there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so it was gonna go down to the conference winners with the best record.
Hmm.
And so, like I say, when it came down to Florida State, we was out of there. They did not put us in there. And according to them, it was due to the fact that we did not have our starting quarterback. But we look at Georgia on the other hand, that did not have their starting quarterback. They still found a way to put them in there. And like
Mm-hmm.
I say, Georgia, they deserve to be in there. But it's just like Florida State. We deserved to be in there last season. You get what I'm saying? But we see what happened to Georgia. They lost. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what makes them any better than us? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, we looking at the conference that they in or whatever the case may be. But like I say, yeah, it's crazy, man. It leads like, and the way these analysts want everything to go like people like Kirk Herbstreit, what's your other boy name?
Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah, Feinbaum or whatnot. It's like they wanted to go into they wanted to go into like where it's like it's gonna be pretty much a toss up. It's gonna be debatable. You know what I'm saying? Who
Right.
gets it or whatnot. And when it's set in stone and it's in black and white, you know, leave that for some of these smaller teams. But when you're one of those teams, you're the top dog, man. You to earned your spot, man. Let that stay where it's at, man. Don't you know what I'm saying? Let's not cause so much confusion. Like the NFL, we know who's in, we know who's out. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to debate about. We know who's in and who's out.
Yeah, you made some great points there, and again, you the NFL. Now, what I like about the NFL, and this is what college football need to do, is it's defined. Like you said, there's a clear set of rules. How you get in the playoffs, the wild card scenarios, everything is streamlined. I think that's definitely what the college playoff committee need to do, and also too, like you said, bro. Like I feel like ESPN, the SEC, it's like their karma is coming back on them because they went and did this big deal with ESPN, built multi-million-dollar deal, and everybody thought that this was going to be they were going to show off the SEC prowess and how the SEC is such this great sporting conference. And when you look at the college playoff this year, nobody in the Final Four is in the SEC that was in the SEC prior to last year. So we can say we can claim Texas SEC team because this year, but technically that still technically is a Big 12 team.
Texas shouldn't even been in there. You know what I'm saying? And I know, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you don't want to look at like the penalties and stuff like that there, but Arizona State got robbed. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
If that was anybody else, they would have called that, man. The man was laid out unconscious, man. The man, and I don't think that he tried to lead with his helmet. I think I don't think it was intentional or whatnot because, but it's like the crime it got there. You get
It
what I'm
happened.
saying?
Yeah, like oh, you did it. It
Got
happened,
there. You know what
bro.
I'm
It
saying? I don't
happened.
think he tried to. And it's one of those things like, if I was the ref, yeah, you got to call the penalty. But would I have ejected him from the game? No, I would not. You get what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
So, but at the same time, was it a penalty? Yes, it was.
That's what
You
I'm
know what
saying.
I'm saying?
Man. It was yeah, man. It was. It's one of those things, bro, where I took it as they was gonna do everything they can to get an SEC team in that Final Four.
Right.
Whatever, regardless they was gonna do, they just felt like that, bro. And you can see that Texas let down. They let down like they played because if you look at that game, bro, Arizona State should have got blowed out, dog. That game shouldn't even been close, bro.
Oh
You
yeah.
look at how they was dominating them in the trenches the first half, like they couldn't even move the ball for nothing. I mean, Kenny Dillingham was like, outside of that fake punt before they did that fake punt and did, that offense was struggling. And then for you to let this team walk you down, take you into overtime, you had to win in overtime, bro. Bro, I'm like, man, Texas ain't gonna win that, man. They not.
My thing is this: like, what is going on with Quinn Ewers? Like,
Man, he been playing bad, dog.
they were saying he's gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he come back, man. I would like, and they speculating that he coming back to play another year of college or whatnot. He got another year eligibility or whatnot. But they speculating that he's probably gonna come back. Me myself, if that was to happen, and I'm Texas, you come back, you coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? We got this 5-star kid, man, Arch Manning back here. He been sitting, waiting, patient. We not gonna rob him of his opportunity, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, the
Right,
kid is good enough to play. It's not like he's not good enough to play. Like, he's even looking like he's better than him. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's like Like, dude, if you gonna be, you gonna have to find, you gonna have to hit that transfer portal, man.
I think if he do come back, Quentin Edwards come back for a 6 year, which God forbid he do. I think he got to go in the transfer. He got to be like Dylan Gabriel. You gonna have to go to the highest bidder. You might as well go to a team that's like they just a quarterback away. Make a national championship run, whatever. I think you have to pull a Dylan Gabriel move if he comes back for a 6 year. But man, I think he should just go ahead and go in a pro because your draft stock is not gonna get no higher than what it is right now. I don't see his draft stock getting no higher. You got to go pro, bro.
I don't think it is neither though. Like I said, man, I don't think it get no higher. I think he get drafted, but like, let's look at if you have a down season. Let's say you go to a team next year and you go to a team like Maryland or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a good season. You could go from possibly being drafted in the second or third round to not being drafted at all. And then you got to think a team may still take a chance with him in the first round. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But it all depends on what that team and that vision, though, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So we gonna get up out of here, man, and we gonna do our arrivals and departures, man. Arrivals and departures. I don't know if you got any on the list, man, but I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna go with my departures first. I want to go at the NFL coaches Black Monday, man. We had two coaches in Gerard Mayo and Antonio Pierce both get fired. When I feel like it was an unjust job, man. These guys was given a unfair hand. And as much as I talk about Jerry Jones and some of his stuff, his antics, I don't think Jerry Jones would have ever did that to none of his coaches. You know what I'm saying? Gave him that 1 year. One thing I can respect about Jerry Jones is, as an owner, that he's always giving his coaches the opportunity to, build their team. And for these organizations to let these guys go in 1 year, man, it just says a lot about the patience and in the culture of the National Football League when it comes to said coaches. So that's my departure for this week.
My departure, man. Oh man, I hate to say it, but Doug Peterson and whatnot. Um, I hate that he lost his job or whatnot, but due to the nature of the business, we know that sometimes things has to be done. Um, I'm a fan of Doug Peterson, and I hope he get a coaching job somewhere, man. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
so I think that that's pretty much my departure, whatnot. I hope he find another job, which I know he will.
Let me ask you this though, and I've been thinking about this, man, since he got fired. Do you think that ultimately, Press Taylor was the reason why he got fired?
Possibly not. I wouldn't even say just that. I would say that far as with the noise from last season, yes, that he kept. I think that has to do with that, and I think that with the season playing out the way it did, it caused the noise to get even louder. You get what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like you was able to excuse it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Due to the fact that we still like, even though we didn't make the playoffs, we had a winning season. But with the type of season that we had this year, it made the noise even get even louder. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say that, but like I said, I look at Trevor too, man. I think Trevor cost him his job this year, man. Trevor played horrible this year. You know what I'm saying? Like Trevor
I
played bad.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Trevor lost him his
But
job.
I would say that if he would have allowed Press Taylor to leave, that would have did away with that narrative right there, because I think that was the reason why the masses wanted him gone, because they looked at, man, listen, with you come along, Press Taylor. We don't believe in Press Taylor. So if that's a package deal, then both of y'all has to leave or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how like most of the fans looked at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I would say something that hit on too, and I think this is the reason why I think he got fired though ultimately because he didn't want to call plays. Uh, I don't know if you caught that in that press conference that um Trent Baalke was like, no, Shad Khan preferred a particular person to call plays. and Trent and Doug Peterson want to call plays. So like, Shaq Khan was like, hey, now I know who I want to call plays. Basically the same way, hey Doug, you need to take over the play calling duty. He didn't never want to do that. And I
Right.
think, with that being said, the way the season went, and you look at the way the offense was, it's like, bro, you don't want to call plays, and the offense looking like this, bro, now you got to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, so let's slide into the arrivals, man. The arrivals, I'm gonna go with this week. Um, the NFL playoffs, man. We got some playoffs this week, on both college and NFL, and I'm excited to see, man, a weekend of football. I think football start Thursday night, and it goes all the way on to to Monday, next Monday. So we're looking excited, looking at playoff games, and got some Monday night foot. I mean, some playoff football too as well in the NFL side.
Right. That's pretty much my arrival, man. Playoff football, man, because we finna see some of the best teams out there, man. You get what I'm saying? Like NFL, when it comes to playoff football in NFL, man, that'd be some exciting football to watch. Um, Sometimes in college,
Hmm.
sometimes we know in college it can be lopsided or whatnot. But we know in the NFL, man, like it could be the worst team. Like they gonna put forth a game or whatnot. You see some good games in the NFL when it comes to the playoffs.
Yes, you do. You definitely do, man. And on that note, man, before we get out of here, man, today, man, we gotta salute um some changes that we've made across the social media platforms. We did some rebranding, as you can see in the background. The Copilot's logo is a little bit different from what you've seen in the past. Greg, he got some new social media sites that we just got, as well as myself. You guys know I had to kind of restart with my all my social media platforms as well. So I'm gonna let Greg let him tell you his social media platforms, his new ones, and then I'm gonna tell you mine.
Oh man, like mine pretty simple, man. You can find all mines on Greg Maddox Jr. Maddox with two T's. That's from Facebook to IG to what the other one called
But
Trend, whatever.
to my threads,
Threads, yeah, Threads, TikTok, and also on YouTube. Like it's Greg Maddox Jr. on everything.
that's what's up. And me, First Class Media 492 on everything, man. Whether it's Facebook, um, Jojo Oliver, not Jojo Oliver, First Class Media. I'm sorry, but Joe Oliver. I'm sorry, Joe Oliver on Facebook. But if you search First Class Media 492, it's gonna pull up all my profiles, everything, and also check out the website uh as well, man. It has all my social media as well on there. So with that being said, man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It's your boy Joe,
This your boy Greg.
and we out. Peace.
Sir.